ago. It's the conversation. Yeah. Take your mind different places. Now you know. So yeah. Okay, we lit.
So yeah, we
Yo,
got Angel
yeah,
from Angel
yeah,
Words
yeah.
podcast
What's up,
on
man?
the pod.
I brought
yo.
you a bottle, brother.
Yo,
you know
thank
what I
you,
mean?
bro.
Thank you so
you.
much for having me. A little prosecco. You know what I mean? That's how we
Look
used to
at
do it back in our
this.
bartending. Well, my
Look at
bartending
this.
days.
Not
You already
you're the first person. No, you're the first person to bring a nice gift. I had my homie come through and bring some Cheetos and like, but this is nice, bro.
Well,
Thank
of
you.
course, man. You're welcome. You know, I try to, make sure that I come in style for my peoples. You know what I mean? I like to take care of you. You guys are working hard, doing your thing. So, I think it's only right that, we brindamos, like they say in the Latino community. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, you really about it though.
The key to opening a champagne bottle is always twist it to the same side. Don't go back and forth. Boom.
Ooh.
That's it. Smooth. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you did that.
Then you do tilt it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't get too much fuzz. You could drink it right away. You know what I mean? Here you go, my good man.
Fire, man. Thank
for
you.
having me. Of course. All right, man. So, away we go, brother. Go ahead, man.
Hold on a minute.
You want to cheers
I want to
first?
cheers. I want to cheers
All right.
on my feet.
All right, cool. Put this
Hell
over
yeah.
here real quick. Get it out the shot. What's up, man? Put that right here. My man Jeffrey the giraffe right behind me. It's lit. Salud,
Cheers,
brother.
salud.
Cheers. Thank you for having me.
Wow. So let's get right into it, man.
Let's get it.
How and when did you start Angel of Words podcast, and for what reason? Like, what did it mean to you to begin?
All right, so this is like probably this 2019, right? I had a situation where I hit rock bottom. I was like, searching for a purpose. I'm like, yo, I can't be living this life. I'm not being authentic to myself. I don't have a purpose. You know what I mean? I felt pressure to just start something, and I started hanging out with my cousin who I used to make music with back in the days. So he's like, yo, bro, you've been interviewing celebrities, you know what I mean, such as Migos, a bunch of football players like Larell Collins, he's an offensive lineman. Serge Ibaka, after he just won a championship with the Toronto Raptors. And he's like, yo, bro, that's what you do. You interview people, man. You know what I mean? You're a journalist, you're a writer, start your own podcast. And I'm like, I didn't know at that time that, because I wasn't really hip to the game. I was lost, man. I call it the medieval times of my life. Like, I had no clue what was happening in pop culture and in American tech. And he's like, you start a podcast. I'm like, I bet. You know what I mean?
What were you interested in that time? Sorry.
Bro, nothing but dumb stuff. You know what I mean? Like, really. Like, just straight. My interests were watching Game of Thrones, watching TV, and chasing women. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Basically ultimate consumer, bro. And I'm like, I got more talent than this. And my cousin saw it in me too. Shout out to Star Trek, as the co-producer of the podcast. For real. Shout out to him. You already know. And he was like, yo, bro, let's do a podcast. And I was like, I bet. So I was like, yo, how much you think that's gonna cost? He's like, yo, bro, he's like, you need at least two stacks. I'm like, I bet. So I got the 2 stacks to save my money. I've always worked and, got mines or whatever. I've been living on my own for a really long time. So, I took I sold some stuff. I got the $2,000 and we went to B&H and we bought all the equipment, the initial equipment that we had when we first started. And, then that's how Angel of Words began. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, but he also said, yo, remember that this is a business. So I've never lost sight of that. Like, this is not only like a podcast, this is going to turn into a media production company. So that's essentially.
And that's part of the reason why it transitioned from the beginning of how the podcast was to how it is now, right? Because when looking into your podcast, you in the beginning you were interviewing a lot of different types of people, down to like people who are in the local like ground and fighting for people, fighting for change, to also artists, to like just a whole bunch of plethora of different people. Yeah. I think you also had scientists too.
Yes, I had scientists. Yeah, I had physicists on there. Yeah, man, we wasn't playing around.
And this, I'm assuming it started this way because you were passionate about that, and then you realized what can cultivate an actual revenue for you, which was primarily with music. Because I would assume it's not only because like, oh, it's just music, but it's because you love music, first of all, and you realized you had to focus on one thing?
Yeah.
Would you say?
So right now, everyone, I have podcast training videos where I take you through I'm not gonna call them the mistakes, I'm gonna call them the lessons that I learned in the podcasting game. And when I first started the podcast, it was about interviewing professionals from all walks of life, right, with different professions, and learning about their trials and tribulations. That's too broad. When you're doing a podcast, it cannot be that broad. And I had to let my ego go because I'm like, I'm this well-rounded individual. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about different things that matter: science, music, art, culture. I want to be everywhere, but that doesn't work in the podcast space if you're trying to generate revenue, right? Because you're not targeting a specific enough audience to where sponsors now want to hop on board and give you money. You know what I'm saying? To promote their brands, that are catered to specific demographics. But I enjoyed that, but I had to let my ego go, right? And I decided, what do I love the most? I love sports and music the most, right? But sports is already way too oversaturated. Right, with the music situation, I didn't see too many I see them now. Like now they're all over the place where people are performing live. Right. Well, live, I do things live. Well, people have performances on their programs or whatever. But that that wasn't really prevalent when I started, or I didn't see it. You know what I mean? It wasn't in my Instagram, TikTok, universe per se. Algorithm, exactly. So I was like, what? Let's do music. I know about music. I've been in the music industry for a really long time. I was a roadie and an A&R for back in the days for a company called Rocketeria Records. So I already had that knowledge of the industry. And I was like, what? Let's do it about music and the music businesses with live performances, and boom. Changed my life forever, bro. Wow. It really helped to scale the business hardcore.
And do you find still enjoyment through that? Because I know you want to.
I'm living the dream, bro. Yeah. I'm living the dream. I'm gonna be on. I love music, bro, and I love the fact that I get to put different type of music and different types of musicians on my platform. Watch them perform live because they're bringing show tracks. Everybody, ain't no BS in studio. With all due respect, you know what I'm saying? With all due respect, but if we're gonna do a live performances on my program, you know what I mean? I come from that space. We're gonna do live performance. I have an audio engineering degree from Toro College at the DMX program, and I give it that little touch of a live feel, but that's all live, bro. Ain't no, you know what I mean? That's not a studio recording. That's a live recording, which is, and I love it, man. I love it. It's freaking exciting, bro. You see it, like, people be out there going ham, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's really, really mixed well, too. It captures the attention span. I realize that now, even with how I'm doing music videos and how I want to continue on with my music, I really want to focus on trying to get as much instantly gratifying images to the world. Like right now, it's just a matter of figuring out my direction. When it was your time to figure out your direction, and you said you had to like let go of the ego, was it something like a conversation you had with people, or was it something that you had with yourself?
Yeah, no. This is a conversation I had with people, and mainly, one of my, basically my co-producer, and then also one of my dearest friends in the world, Naisha D. Feliciano, because she's like a beast with internet marketing and things of that nature. She's a crystal healer. Her brand is actually one of my sponsors on the podcast. Shout out to AttitudeOn10.com. Sure. And she was like, yo, bro, you need to niche down. And she was telling me this for months, bro, before I did it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was really stubborn, bro. And that cost me. Like, I feel like I would have an even bigger following if I would have listened to her initially. You know what I'm saying? But it took me months to listen to her, and then I finally listened to her, and she was right. And she was like, yo, I'm so glad that you decided to go that route, because look, like, your business starting to evolve, you know what I mean? You're scaling up. Now you have different packages available on your website, because we do live event coverages, as you just seen with the most recent video where Pereo saved my life.
I think that was such a cool advertisement. I don't know why it grabbed my attention the way it did, but it just like, boom, like, I think that that's also a great avenue for you, because not only you're great at promoting for these venues, because that's what you are doing at that point.
Yeah.
But that it also gives you an outlet to find these artists to go onto your platform, which is huge, and it just like keeps on cycling. So there is a give and take, you know, like you give it and you are taking it back, you know, and it's gonna eventually evolve more and more. What would your evolution dream be?
Okay, so this is my personal goals, right? I want to, if possible, win an Emmy, win a Grammy, win a Tony, win an Oscar.
Hell yeah.
That is my dream. I feel like I have the skills to do that through my writing, you know, my knowledge of music and my passion for theater and movies. That would be my ultimate dream. With my business, I want to scale up Angel of Words, the Angel of Words podcast, to a point where I don't have to host it anymore. It's generating, you know, big time revenue. I'm paying a host to go on there and do their thing, and I'm able to be behind the scenes just producing that situation. And clearly, you know, I want to make musicals. I want to go into making films. You know, I also want to create like a segue for musicians who may want to be actors, you know, because by the way, we're shooting a movie trailer, and a girl is gonna be over here, you know, he's gonna play a tennis player in the film, you know what I'm saying? So I want to build a community where like you can maneuver back and forth, because you know you may love music, but then you may love acting as well. So I'm trying to build a community where like you could, you know, maneuver back and forth.
Man, that's so awesome. Like, does that come from like, does that come from wishing you had that when you were like in that place of in the hunger of arts, like not many people were there, and like you're just like, yo, I'm gonna be there for people in an honest, real way?
I've had great mentors.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I have. And, you know, since the beginning, the reason why I'm so serious, and, you know, I have, you know, a lot of issues sometimes with artists, you know, with my seriousness, because, you know, the Angel of Words podcast is an elaborate situation to get on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sending you a terms and conditions, which you have to read through, you have to agree to, you have to also sign a video release form, because I'm not gonna be out here making copy and doing these things and promoting you, and then you're hitting me up on my line like, yo, I didn't like that, or I didn't like this. Like that happened to me one time, and I had to nip that in the bud ASAP, with all due respect.
Right.
And you know, but to answer your question, it comes from my mentors. My mentors off the rip, and shout out to Elisa Hale, who was one of my mentors when I used to work for a company called Rocketeria Records. She would always pay her people. She would always pay her musicians. She didn't play around. Like, you know, if you were doing something for her, you best believe the money was there, everybody was on time, and it was a tight ship. Super professional. So I come from that space. So I run my business and the podcast and everything else like that. You know what I mean? I don't waste people's time. I try to show up 10 minutes, 15 minutes beforehand. And, you know, that's just how, you know, that's the how do you say, the culture of the business that we're building over at AOW. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I feel that tremendously. That's amazing. So you would say that you have that energy to want to, you know, reach out to these artists, reach out to these people to want to cultivate, to build, because you've also felt that amongst your mentors.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, and that's always, you know, and also to go into it a little bit more, it's a passion I've always had. I've always loved entertainment, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been a scholar of every single, I'm telling you, we could talk about Carson Daly, Lala, we can go to Don Francisco, Cristina, Ricky Lake, you know, rest in peace, Jerry Springer. Like, you know what I mean? You have to understand, I was a beast watching content since a kid, man. You know what I mean? So that's why social media doesn't bother me too much, because I've been over consuming content since I was a little boy.
Right.
I've been enamored with it. Right. So, you know, I try to take different bits and pieces from all the legends, you know what I'm saying? And all the different types of entertainment that's evolved over the years, and try to implement that into the AOW brand. You know what I'm saying?
Leading into that, why AOW?
Well, Angel of Words, man. So I had a priest, right? I worked at a restaurant called Arturo's, and there was a priest that used to go in there, and Father Joe, right? Brother Joe, that was his name, Brother Joe, and he used to call me Angel of the Lord. So one day, right, I'm making my PlayStation handle, and I call myself Angel of the Lord, right? And then my ex-girlfriend, she was like, yo, you a writer now. Like, you know what I mean? You should change that to Angel of Words. And then, that's when Instagram had come out and boom,
Yeah.
AOW it was.
Hell
I've been
yeah.
Angel of Words forever
Right.
on the gram.
No, that's fire.
Yeah, you know
Hell
what I
yeah.
mean?
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is there-
Actually, I'm lying. That was my second gram was Angel of Words.
Okay.
But the first one was King Louis 0713. But that's still out there.
That's the only.
Yeah.
You don't know. That's fire.
Nah, but then we switched it up to AOW. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Now, leading into this movie that you're a part of.
Yeah, the movie trailer promotional video.
Right. How did you get into that, and like, yeah, how did that
All
even
right.
come about?
So check this out, right? I'm all about having the right conversations with people, no matter how ratchet you may think they are or how successful, educated, and affluent you may think they are. I'm always trying to have the right conversations with people and trying to be of service, right? So I had a gentleman walk into my job. His name was Curtis Holmes. And he was like, yo, check out I was working on his health insurance. And he's like, yo, check out my book. I'm a writer. He was on my podcast, right? I'm like, oh, you a writer? That's crazy. And he's a horror suspense thriller writer. You know what I mean? Novelist. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to be real with you. I don't know many black horror fiction novelists. You know what I mean? You think Stephen King, you think Stephen Hawking, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, like, I'm like, oh, that's super dope. I would like to interview you, right? So I interviewed him and we got close, and he lived in the neighborhood. So he was always stopping by my job saying hello, and we got to talk, and he's like, yo, bro, I also write scripts. I'm like, yo, bro, you already know. Let me bring it through. Let me read it. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what's up with this or whatever. So he brings the script. It's called Off the Wall, about a handball player that gets to the U.S. Open and becomes a tennis champion, right? So I'm like, that is lit. Set in the late 80s, early 90s. I'm like, yo, that is lit. But the thing is, man, we don't have the means to make a freaking motion picture. That costs a lot of money, bro. You need a budget to make a motion picture, right? So we were talking about it, and then as my business starts scaling and my brain starts shifting, and and I'm learning more and more, I'm like, oh, bro, let's just make a trailer for this movie and promote it to the Spike Lees of the world, Kevin Hart's of the world, their production companies. You know what I mean? My guy from Atlanta, Tyler Perry. Like, let's make this trailer, right? Because you're a man, because he has hardships, which, I don't want to get into his personal business. Everybody will eventually find out what that is. But this guy's been through a lot in his life. He has an interesting story. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, I think with your story and shooting this trailer, we could promote the situation where now we have a budget to make this movie. Wow. And I'm going to help you off the strength because I believe in your vision. And we've been working, he comes to the studio. He helps me with like as an intern situation. And this is a grown man. You know what I mean? It's a guy in his 50s, you know what I mean? And he's learning and he's doing his thing with me. You know what I mean? So that's how Off the Wall happened. And now, it's about to be a vibe, brother.
That's a fucking great title too.
It's a great title, right? I'm like, bro, this is catchy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're gonna be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? We're shooting the first scene with you and the homie Suave, who's another person that's part of the team. That's our production coordinator over at the AOW studios when we do the podcast. Shout out to him. He's been a very big help to me. You know what I'm saying? Another young cat, hungry, eager to learn, very humble. You know what I'm saying? And just about being on time and about that grind.
So how is this gonna be shot?
All right, so check this out. So the first shot that you're in, we're gonna go over to the Astoria Park tennis courts, right? There was nothing in their rules that said you couldn't bring camera equipment to record, right?
Nah.
So we got 4 permits, right, for the people that are gonna be there on the actual court itself. And so you guys are going to be playing. We're going to have the bird's eye view. We're going to have the side view. We're going to have the close-up camera. So we're going to have 3 cameramen. So we're bringing 4 cameramen to that situation.
Oh, wow.
3 cameras, all Canons, all with, the hard body lenses. We're not playing around. This is serious stuff. And you're going to be in the first scene on the Astoria tennis court. Then after that, we're shooting one scene where there's a scene with him and his mentor where he transitions from handball to tennis. Then we're shooting the major scene on the handball court where his best friend gets murdered and what motivates him to find a purpose in his life. Then after that, we're shooting the shot with him and a love interest with him in the movie. And then we're going to finish it off at Angel of Word Studios where we're going to shoot a scene between him and his mother. And that's what's going down.
Wow. Hell yeah. And all of this is going to be a trailer in the hopes that it would also enlarge.
To promote a script.
Right.
To promote a script because people want
the
visuals.
script, and he has the script.
The script's already done. That's ready to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, all the lines that are going into the movie trailer are coming directly from the script itself.
Is this gonna be like presented? And I don't know if this is a stupid question or not, but
no, there's no such thing as a
I know
stupid
I've heard
question,
that. I've heard that
I mean?
too. But is this gonna be shot in vertical or horizontal?
This is good. The thing is that you remember I showed you can make horizontal into vertical.
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna shoot it vertical because remember this is going on Rumble, YouTube. You know what I mean? We're sending this out to people, and they need to see it in the 1080 by 1920 frame situation.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, you know what I mean. But we're also we're also gonna put out social media content that's gonna be vertical. So you know how we do, baby.
That's fire.
Yeah, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do both, man. You already know.
And that's
man.
the greatest part about you.
Yeah.
It's like not only like you are entertaining. Like you have a very how would I say it? Like radio sounding voice.
Well, thank you, my brother. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
I'm hit.
I love that. I love that compliment. That makes
real.
Because I respected all those guys, man.
Yo.
Howard Stern, all those guys those are my dudes.
I'm trying to work on it. But this is the earliest process, you know? And I feel like having people like you around has also like brightened up and made me see things differently amongst the many other people that have done that to you. You know, it's like a synergy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to build, bro. So I'm trying to build a synergy, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A community of people that grind, that are serious about their craft. That's all I want, man. Just be serious about it, and we're gonna go places. I'm telling you, bro. Seriously.
Hell yeah. Now, with this movie, I mean, this trailer, I feel like this shit is gonna be dope. Like honestly, the way that you're describing it, the way that you're telling it to me, I feel like there is something way more to see in it, and I feel like that's why the trailer is gonna be because it's like damn,
it's gonna be a vibe, man. And shout out to
sorry, is it gonna leave with like a cliffhanger type of situation or like?
I mean, the whole thing is gonna be an epic scenario. You know what I mean? Just like how we just dropped that party video, because I'm gonna help my guy Fantastico and shout out to him. And I've met some great people on the podcast, man. So Fantastico is my guy, one of the promoters from Ferrero Save My Life, who wants to work with me. You know what I mean? He's also going to be there. But, it's going to be like that, like epic. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, if you're a person and you have a budget and you're trying to look for scripts and things of that nature to put out, you're going to be like, let's contact these people. We want to make this vision come to life. That's what it's going to be epic, man. And shout out to all the artists that have hit me up, that have been on the Angel of Words podcast and their friends. Bro, it's going to be a vibe. That big scene we're shooting, there's going to be a lot of people there. There's a lot of support coming in from there. Yeah, and I'm really happy.
That's what's up. I feel like you're really building this, bro. I feel like you're really doing this. And I want to see what this is going to be.
It's gonna be fun, man.
Yeah, I want to see how this is gonna.
No, you're gonna have a major role because you play the amazing tennis player that's on the scene.
Oh snap!
You know what I'm saying? Like you're that guy. You're gonna have a wardrobe. You're gonna bring your wardrobe. You're gonna wear her in a headband, straight 1990 status. Like yeah. Make sure you wear your Air Force Ones because you can only go on those tennis courts with like those flat sneakers with no grip at the bottom. It has to be flat sneakers. But yeah, bro. Like no, man. Thank you so much for you as well because you're gonna play a major role in this trailer.
This is cool, man.
Yeah, bro.
And I want to see like what other visions you have, and if you want to have me in an active role in the future, I'll be like, hell.
Well, that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Hey, stick with me, man. I'm telling you, like, stick with me. We're working hard. We're being diligent.
Yeah.
We're taking our baby steps. We're not in a rush to do anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I had to put the podcast on hold because family is important to me. And, I had an aunt that passed away, and that was really, and my mother was going through it. So I had to make sure that I'm there for my family, because AOW is all about family. So, I had to take a step back from the, putting out content, but I'm back on now. But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, so we're taking our baby steps. We're not in a rush to do everything. Everything will happen when it's meant to happen, when it's supposed to happen. But we cross the T's and dot the I's before we move on to anything else. Right? We're very, very diligent when it comes to things of that nature.
I feel like some people do this. You tell me if you're one of them.
Yeah.
They keep busy and they work hard and they do this because it also like not distracts them, but also gives them happiness within it all. Like, do you feel like managing your life and managing this is like I'm not gonna say easy, but it's like something that you want to do because it does genuinely give you happiness.
Yeah, it is giving me happiness, but it is challenging though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It is challenging. It takes a toll on relationships. You really have to make sure that you go out of your way. So like, for example, that Pereo Saved My Life situation, right? And the events that Angel of Words goes out to cover. That is my social life. You know what I mean? But I'm making my social life where like we're also having fun, but we're working. So that way now I'm combining the two and I'm saving time because I have to be with my family. Right. You know what I mean? That's very important to me. So that's how I balance my social life with my work life, with my family life, is that I merge my social life with my work life and then boom. You know what I'm saying?
How much do you sleep?
Honestly, my sleep patterns, they really, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, because all of this, a lot of this, like 80% of this is being done by just me. Like, sometimes I crash out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I'll take a Saturday and sleep the whole Saturday because I know that I gotta be rested because Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday I got a podcast. Monday I gotta edit. Tuesday I gotta edit. Wednesday I gotta edit. Thursday I got a podcast. Friday I got an event that I gotta go out and cover. Right. So, I make sure that I get my rest, right? And remember, I'm doing this still with a 9-to-5 that I'm trying to get out of.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I make sure that I just schedule my time, bro. I use the schedules, the AI schedules that they have out there. Everybody get on that AI flow. Like, I know that Monday I'm doing audio for the podcast, right? And then I'm matching the audio with the video. Once the audio and the video is matched up, I'm gonna basically do a rough cut of the podcast, right? Tuesday I'm working on the podcast performance, right? So now Tuesday, I have the performance out, right? Wednesday, I'm merging the two. I'm crossing the T's. I'm dotting the I's. I'm posting it up, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now we're putting out the promos so that people can go and watch the podcast. You know what I mean? But there's still so much more I want to do.
Wow,
thank you
for that
joke,
breakdown, though.
Man. No, it's no joke.
You're giving game right now because
Yeah,
that's brilliant. Like the way you set it up, and I feel like the way you don't overstress yourself, but at the same time you're still dealing with so much that you end up crashing, and it is what it is. And
that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah,
because I'm doing it for the people that love me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what really makes me so happy. You know what I mean? My co-producer, who's my brother, you know what I'm saying? He gets so excited. My mother gets so excited. Like my sister is so excited. My sister's in Texas. So excited.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's all that matters to me because I'm doing it for them, man. I'm
Yeah.
doing this to build a legacy for our family, to break, generational curses, whatever you want to call it. We out here, man. We're grinding. And it's real and it's fun and I'm having a great time. Obviously sometimes, like I said, relationships, sometimes, you disconnect from people, but it's not because I want to. It's because I have to, because I have to follow my purpose.
Right.
And, I think they'll understand when things get better and now I have time and, the income is flowing in and now I could, I don't have to do everything myself.
Right.
I'm paying people to do what I do now for me. Then they'll see, why that was imperative for me to do.
Right. I feel like you always want a little bit more, though, right? Tell me not. Because you'll get to a space where you'll be like,
oh, I'm never going to be satisfied. Yeah. I'm never going to be satisfied, bro. I'm never going to be satisfied. And I like that, though, because that keeps you maturing, keeps you evolving, you know, mentally. Because I'm telling you, I was in a dark place where I was devolving as an individual. You know what I'm saying? I looked at myself in the mirror. I didn't recognize who I was. You know what that is, bro? You're like, yo, what is happening? You know what I mean? Like, God spoke to me real, because, you know, I'm spiritual. I'm like, yo, I know God was in my ear, bro. Like, yo, bro, like, you need to get it together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to get it together, because you all the way wasting your potential and your talent and your visions and your dreams. Like, why are you off course like this? Get your ass on point. Like, stop playing with me.
Right.
Like, for real. I had that conversation with God in a dream.
And was it more so of a voice, or you...
It was a dream, bro. It was me looking at Jesus Christ and speaking to him in person type of situation.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and I guess he spoke to me through different people in my family that depend on me, that rely on me, that I have to show... you know, because I have nephews, man. I have nieces. I have people. I have predecessors. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta, show them that, yo, your uncle is valid, your brother is valid, your son is valid. Like, you know what I mean? I have to prove it to myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a lot to give to this world, and I was giving the world nothing, and that was terrible.
Sheesh.
That was terrible.
You looked at yourself and you're like, I gotta move.
I gotta move.
Yeah.
I gotta move.
But that shows that at any point people could change their situation.
That's a fact.
Right.
You know, obviously, and I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes, you know, there are serious mental health diagnoses from clinical experts that you go see, and it's just you know, something you can't control. Is just in your chemical makeup and in your DNA, right? But if you're a person that you're cognizant, that you're aware, that you are not diagnosed, you know, bipolar or with any other, you know, serious mental health issues, you know, it's up to you to decide how you want to take it, man. You know, and there's no excuses, for failure. You know what I mean? You can't blame anything. You can't.
Yeah, but even if people have like these disorders and stuff, they're still famous. So,
no, I mean, and they're still grinding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But you know, like, you know, but I've known people that are like that, and you know, they have an excuse per se. You know what I mean?
Right,
But,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? But my people that don't have an excuse is like, yo, come on, B. Like, I can't feel sorry for you, bro.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? And if you need my help or you need to chat, you know, hit my line. You know, especially the people in my inner circle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, bro, like, I mean, I'm sorry, man. Like, you know, you have to really be aware of what's happening within you and be like, yo, what do I want to do with myself? Like, you feel me?
Yeah. And it's so evident, right? Like, it's not something that you can really escape. You can see it in other people, but sometimes people can't see it within themselves.
Yeah.
Where is that coming from? Where do you think that's coming
from? Well, that's coming from the what you're listening to, the media that you're probably taking in, because you got to understand that algorithm is very important for you to shift that, right? Because when I started doing Angel of Words, bro, my algorithm was embarrassing. It was like stripper chicks and ratchet stuff, and like, I'm like, oh no, right? Bro, as soon as I niched down all the way, but along that way, bro, all of a sudden my discovery page, everything started shifting. Wow. So you gotta shift that world, bro.
That's interesting. So you like
not only your personal world, you gotta be around people that, you know, that want to do things, that are working, that are striving, you know, that have visions and plans and goals, but you also gotta shift that in your algorithm.
Right, where you're choosing to see.
Yeah, because you're consuming that. And it's like, you know, it's funny because one of my favorite movies is Silence of the Lambs. And Dr. Hannibal Lecter, you know what I'm saying, has a very poignant line in that film where he says, people covet what they see every day. Right?
Break that down.
So that means that you want, you lust, you are attracted to what you see every day. So if you're a dude that's on the gram looking at fat booty ladies and this, that, and the third, you're gonna want that, right? But if you're not in a position to actually attract a woman like that, now that's gonna change your whole chemical composition even. You know, but it's gonna definitely change your personality. You're gonna become angry. You're gonna become bitter. You're gonna become resentful, right? But yo, it's up to you to change it.
That's true.
Become what that woman. If that's what you want, right? Become what that woman wants. You know what I'm saying? And stop complaining.
Right. That's a fact. But then it's also like, I mean, just to jab into that the thought process, it's like a motherfucker could even try to become what that woman would want, and then realize that's not what you want. Right? At the end of the day, you gotta be who you are, and the woman has to be who she is.
Yeah.
And then if it happens, then it happens on some shit. I feel like that's where a lot of problems come, right? Like a lot of times people, their egos and their frustration of like who they think they are, sometimes is battled with the situation of chasing someone. So like they try to chase someone that's out of their league or whatever the case might be, and the girl who's out of their league maybe would like that guy if he didn't even think that way. You know? But it's a complex of things.
That's a very poignant point as well. You know what I'm saying? You're right.
It's weird.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that. But my thing is, more often than not, you gotta, be what they want. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, no, you're right. I feel that. No, that's true. It's true. I guess it also depends where you're at too, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
New York City.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But, women are different. It all depends. As a man, you got to know what, the style of woman you want, and my thing is like, I never like to talk about relationships. I'm so against that. I'm not about the bochinche, gossip of life at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, I just worry about the people that are in my inner circle, you know what I'm saying? Making sure that they know what they want to attract. It's about knowing what you want to attract.
No, I feel that.
You know what I mean? Like me personally, I like a female who's feminine, who's docile, who's calm, who doesn't use the N-word, who, isn't too rambunctious,
Right,
what I'm saying? And it's just a person with class and grace, you know what I'm saying? And it's not messy. That's my situation. But some people don't, some people like a little toxicity. Some people like a little rambunctiousness.
No.
You got to know what you like. That's it. You know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely right. I remember I was going out one night.
You need a filler or not?
Yes, please. I remember I was going out one night and this dude was like, I forgot what he said. He said some shit like you got to dress for the type of girl you want.
I mean, my co-producer is such an advocate of that, bro. That's
okay.
Yeah, no, man, no.
That's a thing.
That's a thing,
It's
though.
a thing.
Yo, I'm just saying, like, if you out here, because the real talk, right? I used to rock a beard. I was wildin'. I'm telling you, I was lost. I was rocking a beard this large, and then I'm like, I'm attracting all these rambunctious, really loud type of like provocative female, and I'm like, and I'm wondering why my life is messy, and I'm like, yo, bro, because look at what, usually when you rocking that certain particular look, you're gonna get a certain particular type of situation.
Damn.
That's the reality. Once I started rocking the beard low, rocking the hair low, being a little bit more on my Puerto Rican Rico Suave pretty boy flow, like, the whole is shifted. Like, the woman that would have attracted me to me before ain't attracted me to me before, and now a different type of female is attracted to me. It's wild. It's really wild, man.
Yeah.
And I'm dressing a little bit different. I'll dress like this, but I also, I'll rock my suits. I love fashion, so you know what I mean.
Getting into that, how are the conversations switching up, and are you enjoying that more?
The conversations with the females, bro, it's just way different, man.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm having really thought-provoking, important conversations, man.
That's what's up.
You know
and they're
what I mean?
fine.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Like,
And they're beautiful women, man.
Right.
Like, just overall, just beautiful, beautiful souls, beautiful people, altruistic, benevolent, kind, sweet. Like, like...
The vocabulary on this man.
That's why they call me Angel of Words, baby. You already know.
That's good. That's facts. Hell
You know, but yeah, nah, man, but it's changing, you know what I mean? It's good. And I'm also, you know, even as with friendships and people overall, even with men, like, you know, I'm attracting a better quality of men too, you know what I'm saying? You know, that guys that want to work, guys that want to work with me, guys that see that, yo, this guy could be, has good potential to be within our inner circle because, you know, you do need to get into different males inner circles who are making moves. Dudes that are making moves don't want to rock with dudes that ain't doing anything.
That's a fact. Yeah.
You know, and you gotta make, and the way to make moves is to start rocking with people that are making moves.
It's true.
Real talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't, you could do it alone, but for so long until you need to start cracking, you know, not cracking, but, you know, joining these, inviting into different circles of men that are making moves, different circles of women that are making moves, and, you know, whatever pronoun you want to throw out there, you got to get into those inner circles and, you know, make moves with them, man.
I think it's the evolution of it. Some people, like, go through different evolutions, right? And you can't say you have to do this or you have to do that because you don't know. But I like the way you're going about it because you want to build networks and you want to grow with people. I feel like the people that, like, just stick to themselves and, like, they, like, okay, sure, and they become successful, like, you're just an island. You know what I mean? Like, you have nothing around you. You're just you.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, it would be amazing to, what's the word, archipelago?
Yes.
You know, it's more than one, you know, have a whole unit, a chain of islands or a chain of countries, you know what I'm trying to say, networks.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
in the end, what does it matter if you're end up being by yourself and, I don't know, isolating yourself?
But you got to understand, though, some people do prefer it that way. They feel comfortable in that space, and that's okay. You know what I mean?
Because they feel like they're.
I'm not like that. I'm very social. You know what I'm saying? Like I like
that Puerto Rican blood.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But I'm gonna be honest. I had to isolate myself in order to get these things that I'm doing done.
Right.
Though.
You have to learn the balance.
You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait till things are really going really well so I can get back out there and see my people that, you know, I love entertaining, you know, I mean, engaging with back in the days. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, but you have to isolate yourself a little bit when you're going through this process of, you know, trying to make your dreams come true because you got to really focus in and learn your craft, whatever craft that is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's the only way to grow, right? You kind of have to be uncomfortable.
Well, you got to practice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what ends up happening is you end up practicing with different people that are doing the same thing, or you end up practicing alone.
Yeah. I feel like it is a lot of balance, though, right? You have to do it by yourself, and you have to do it with other people because you have to show and see if it's good.
Exactly.
You know, and you have to be by yourself to cultivate that, and also not expect it from other people.
Facts.
And then go and then work with these people that you say you can grow with.
Yep.
That's what's dope about it. I feel like this is a really good year, Jordan year.
Yo, look, it feels like the Jordan year. The Knicks may go to the Eastern Conference final. I don't want to get too hyped, but I'm like, real talk, I'm an avid sports fan, right? Like, I am a scholar. I'm like borderline scholar of sports, bro. Like, I'm a beast, especially when I was editing for Blue Magazine, you know, the sports situation. Like, I was an animal.
Wow.
You feel me?
What kind of, papers would you write, like, on?
Well, I'll be interviewing athletes and then writing features.
Wow.
The cover feature for the magazine.
That's dope.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Did you find a trait about these athletes, about them, like a character trait that kind of stayed consistent with each of these athletes?
It sounds cliche, but everybody works hard and they have tunnel vision, bro. People know how to balance, you know, their work life and their social life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The really great at what they do, the people that become champions, you know, the teams that become champions is because they created a brotherhood that was all about that, you know, that year or that season. Right? And they were able to do something special. They were able to do something great.
Made it a moment.
Yeah, exactly. And the great athletes, they just work hard, man. They work on their craft, man. You know?
Good people, too. Like, when you got to interview them, they weren't like...
Yeah, man. But let me tell you something. What I've noticed is, like, you know, when you come at people correctly, right? When you're not trying to be scandalous, you know, like what happened with L'Oreal and Michael B. Jordan, when you're not trying to get that shocking clout viral moment, people are gonna respect you, Ago. They're gonna respect you. Am I pronouncing your name right?
Yeah, Ago, yeah.
Yeah, all right. You know, they're gonna respect you. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is, bro. There ain't no secret to it. You carry yourself with respect. You make boundaries. You don't cross people's boundaries, right? Or, you know, some people might be a little bit more friendly, a little bit more ball breaky than others. So then, you know, when you see that, y'all are comfortable to that level, then you can start having being a little playful with them. But I don't come off the riff trying to be playful with people. You know, I come off very respectful. My business and my business partners are very respectful individuals. You know what I'm saying? We give you that modicum of respect. You feel me? And I feel like when I was speaking to these athletes and I'm speaking to these people, bro, off the rip, they knew that, like, yo, bro, like, this guy is a serious person. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. So do you feel like your team cultivated this perspective over time, or was this something that each of you already kind of just had already, and then initiated and checked in with each other with over time? That's kind of like,
I get you.
Like, you know?
Yeah, like, you know, where does this mindset come from? Did it start or did it develop? Was it from the outset or did it develop into this?
Right.
No, it started from the outset, off the rip.
Wow.
Off the rip, we already knew how we wanted to carry ourselves.
That's dope.
Real talk.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to respect creators. I want to respect musicians, athletes, entertainers. You know, the world that I'm in right now. I want to respect them, but, you know, I also want to carry myself with respect because I want respect in return. You know what I mean? Because we're out here doing work for y'all. Like, we really care about what we're doing. We care about people succeeding and, you know, getting their voices heard out there. You know what I mean? So we wasn't playing with that off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Like, off the rip. You know, we're setting boundaries. We're making sure that people are treated well. You come to my studio, you have coffee, you have snacks. You know, here's the restroom. You know what I'm saying? You have Bounty to wipe your hands after you wash your hands in the toilet. Like, down to those details.
Wow, nice.
We're not playing around, man.
That's nice.
We're giving you a great customer experience at Angel of Words
I got a lot to learn.
No, but that comes with time and having good people around. You know, these are, remember, like, this is something that I was taught since a very early age. You feel me? So this has been innate inside of me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's kind of like family. In the simplest forms, right?
Yeah, man.
That's how you would be with your family.
Yeah. You know how when you go to a restaurant and people treat you well? That's how I treat my guests when you come to the Angel of Words Studios or anybody that I'm doing business with. Like, you know what I mean? That's how I do it, man. Hospitality, respect. You know, here, you're my guest. I'm right now, within however long you're here, whatever you need, I got you, because I really appreciate you you could be anywhere else in the world, but you want to be here with me right now, sharing your story on my platform. And I take that serious.
Man, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? I do.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know that every waking moment that people witness each of, like, your milestones, it's only inspiring more and more people. Because it inspires me.
Really? I'm glad, bro. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, bro. Because, like, you know, I see a lot of potential in you, brother. And, you know, I'm saying you'll stick around. You're going to have fun at this situation with the acting stuff. You know what I'm saying? And these are the type of networks I want to build. You know what I mean? If I can help you reach a goal, you know, either vicariously through you seeing me on social media or having a one-on-one conversation, I'm glad that I could do that, brother. I want to be of service to you because that's what's important, man.
When did the waking of, I remember when I first met you, because I met you at
the come up shows.
At the come up
and
shows.
Shout out to those people over there. I met, you know, Casey DeValle, she was on my podcast. You know, Jason Lee Salcido, the founder of the Stella Connect. You know what I mean? Those ladies have, you know, they've been a great a resource for me. You know what I mean? We've been able to work together and make things happen. You know, and these are the things that happen. You get around people and you start meeting different people through great people that you meet, and then boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them for
Hell
sure.
yeah. And I remember meeting you there, and you were telling me about that you were just getting into doing the videos on the training videos for the podcast.
Yes,
and
yes.
And leading up from that time to now, like, what has that become, and where can people find this, and, like, what are they learning, you know, like, how can they really start a podcast, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
start a dope podcast in just one day. Go to YouTube, Angel of Words Entertainment. All the socials is Angel of Words Entertainment. You can start a dope podcast in just one day. I'm telling you. So let's get to it. Right, the first one that I put out on the YouTube, the only one that's out publicly, right, and then you go into the system that I have so that you can get all these training videos and more stuff to come from the podcasting aspect, the course tutorial situation. So we start with monetization for branding. Right? Well, branding for monetization. That's the video that's out right now. It tells you what I just finished telling you. Like, yo, you gotta be specific. You gotta be specific to a T when you're doing a podcast, bro. Because you're gonna plant that seed and everybody, oh, this is what he's talking about. Because remember now, we live in a situation where now legacy media, old school media, the NBCs, ABC, no, we doing YouTube. We watch what we wanna watch, not what y'all want us to watch.
That's a fact.
Right? Yeah. So if you like a particular subject, right, and I give an example within the training video, like if you want to do a podcast about the projects and call it the Jecks and talk about project life, right? You got to stick to that. You can't go from talking about that and then people are seeing you at the Hamptons and you're doing events out there and then you're talking about stuff from the Hamptons on the project. Like that's not gonna resonate with nobody. You just lost your audience right there. You know what I mean? So if people are interested of learning about the projects and project life, right, and then you start talking about something that's not project related, you lost your audience. You know what I mean? Right. And you lost your sponsors. Yeah, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to sell Hennessy, for example, to on this podcast, and you're talking about people that want to drink something else, or Jameson or whatever the case may be, a Johnny Walker Blue Label. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Because that's how the infrastructure of the marketing world works. You know what I mean?
Right.
People want those pockets.
Right. Specific. They know what they're getting into.
Yes, exactly. So that's something that I speak on in depth on there and why it's important. Then I teach you how to brand yourself, how to create the creatives, why creating the creatives is so important. So that's the one podcast that's available. And then after that, we get into how to set up your audio, how to set up your video, right? How to set up your streaming platform, right? And how to set up your artwork. Because those are the 5 main components in you want to make money, but how do I make money? You got to do all 4 of those things. And that's where we start you at. And then after that, if you love what you saw and it helped you a lot, then, stick with me because I have more training modules coming out in 2023.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And I really do like the way that your podcast is set up in terms of like what you have in the background. It's all like, everything's placed well.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like everything. Usually, sometimes people don't realize what's put into even just a subtlety of a background, but it's like almost everything, and not at the same time, right? It's everything in terms of like what people visually see, and then it's not everything because you provide the audio, you provide the life to it. The background of your podcast was something that people helped you out with, or you just
No, bro. I set up that whole studio basically almost by myself, bro. Yeah, real talk. Like all that stuff, like I printed, a lot of those pictures I printed out myself through my own printer. I bought a lot of that stuff in Times Square, like and it's always evolving. That's the beauty, because I left it where like I wanted to evolve. So now as 2023 continues, you're gonna see more and more music stuff up there, more and more music related, artwork gonna be up there. We got Tito Puente up there, you know what I mean, and more. And then I've gotten some cool stuff from where my family's from in Puerto Rico, so we got like cool stuff because I always want to represent for my culture, let people know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So
Have you been out to Puerto Rico?
Oh man, 2020 was the last time I was there.
Shit's lit, right?
Oh man, it was amazing. You know what I mean? For real, man.
You been to Culebra?
Oh yeah, man. I went to. Oh man.
I'm not Puerto Rican, but everyone always thinks I'm Puerto Rican. I'm like,
you have a Puerto Rican type of vibe. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not shocked. You're Venezuelan, right?
Yeah.
No, but I'm not shocked. Yeah, you're not too far from us.
I feel like we all are kind of like Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and Venezuelans, kind of like.
Yeah, we all do. Yeah, man. It's the Caribbean vibe, man. You know what I mean? We have a similar look. But yeah, no, man. Puerto Rico. Oh my God, man. Puerto Rico is amazing, bro. Like, shout out to my people out there. Te quiero, Puerto Rico.
I fucking love Puerto Rico too, yo. I just want to say that was the first time I saw Shooting Stars was in Puerto Rico.
Really?
In Culebra.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo, Culebra is amazing, bro. The first time I ever ate venison. No, actually, no, that was the second time. But I ate venison on Culebra with an old friend of mine. Yeah, you know, he's like, yo, you got to go out to Culebra. So we drove in the middle of the night to catch the 5 o'clock ferry leaving from Fajardo. And yeah, we went out there, bro.
Yeah.
That was lit, bro.
Wow,
I was
that
like,
was
wow,
dope.
what a beautiful, treacherous beach, though. Be careful. If you don't know how to swim, don't go too deep
Facts.
in that beach.
But
that
it's
beach
cool
is
to get
wild.
the tanks there,
Yeah.
the beach. That shit. I want to go. I want to go to Vieques because I hear Vieques is dope.
Yeah, no, Vieques is super fire.
You been there?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You been to the bioluminescent
Yeah,
bay
man.
shit?
Oh, man, bro, that's a
I've heard
beautiful
that shit
thing, man.
fucking
Yeah,
dope.
no.
We
I've
gotta
been to
go
La
at specific
Palguera, too.
times,
Like,
right?
there's a lot of bioluminescent situations in Puerto Rico.
We gotta go in specific times though, right?
Yeah, you have to go at specific times. What
the fuck's that about?
You want to go when it's a full moon. You know what I mean? Because it radiates better light.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's lit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, bro.
fucking lit.
You know, I've been really blessed to have really, you know, people that have really taken me on deep tours of Puerto Rico, man. I'm proud to say that I've been to every single point, north, east, south, and west of
So
Puerto
of course
Rico.
you went to Rincon, right?
Yup, man.
And
you know,
El Yunque.
Yep. Well, the UK haven't been there. That's the only thing I haven't done.
Dead ass?
I'm dead ass.
Yo, shit.
I'm dead ass. I gotta do that, but I gotta do that.
Yeah.
I want to do that with some people, man. With the right people, have
Yo,
some fun,
I'm gonna
man.
tell you a story, all right? So
Oh, you did it?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
dope.
I went to La Mina Falls,
Okay.
which is like one of the. They have a bunch of routes when you go inside the jungle that you can't drive in. Like you park somewhere and then you
Yeah.
have to walk.
Yep.
So, yo, we went to this shit called La Mina Falls route, right? We did this route. It was like an hour just to get to the waterfall, right? I fucking the whole time that you're walking there, all you hear is cookie, cookie, cookie. The little fucking
Yeah. The national treasure, you know, the national frog of Puerto Rico.
It's the frog, yo. Yo. I heard this shit. I'm thinking it's a bird. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah,
And
nah,
they're like,
that's a frog. That's a frogs, bro. Hell yeah.
And yeah, so it took mad long to get to the waterfall. We finally get to the waterfall. I'm taking my phone. I'm excited. I'm like meeting new people there. You know when you get excited when you like and all that shit. You travel. Excuse me. So to get to the point, I want to get this picture taken of me by the waterfall, and I'm throwing my phone like a dumbass to this girl, and I thought she was gonna catch it. I don't mean to be sexist or whatever, but I'm thinking like I in that moment I wasn't sexist because I'm just like, oh, she's gonna catch it, but she didn't catch it.
Why would you throw your phone though?
In that moment, I don't know. I thought that she was gonna catch it. I was a dumbass.
I'm gonna be sexist right now and say that was a brute man decision. It's only something a brute would do. You know?
and she didn't catch it, and that shit fell. And yo, I fucking ran all the way back because I couldn't see it. Yo, like the water is dark.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like
word.
you can't see it.
Nah.
You just can't see it. So I thought I ran back to the car. I found goggles that was in the car. I ran back to the waterfall where it was at. I went inside, found my phone.
Well, good for you, bro. That was a nice little.
Yeah, but-
that's, you know what I mean.
But I did a dumb move again.
Wow, what happened?
I turned it on right away.
Why would you do that?
Just to see if it would work.
Yeah, you gotta let it dry.
I know, I had to put it in a
Joe.
rice
Damn.
bag. I learned that shit after the fact.
Oh man.
But it happened. And then the rest of the trip, I didn't have a phone. It was lit.
Yo, but hey, man, you got
It
the
was
memory.
lit.
That's what matters to me.
Yeah,
man,
that
for
shit was
real.
fucking dope.
It was not
Yeah.
bad, right? It was a
Hell
good
yeah, no, I
time.
had a great time.
Yeah.
That shit happened, but it was still like
How was the food? Better than you expected?
Fucking amazing. And when
Yeah.
I left Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
I was fucked up.
Yeah.
And I left kissing 2 girls.
There you go, baby. I love you out there. You know what I'm saying? You gotta come back. You know?
Yeah, that shit was lit.
Oh,
I had a good
that's
time.
dope, man. Good for
That
you.
shit was lit.
Did you get a
Then
chance
went
to
the
eat a
airport.
tripleta out there?
Tripleta? No.
That's the 3-meat sandwich that we have. It's like a version of the Cuban or our version of the chopped cheese. That's our own national sandwich.
Damn, yo.
Next time you go back, get a tripleta.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you don't know, even some Boricuas don't know what that's about. You gotta have that tripleta action. It's the best sandwich ever.
Yo, I gotta try that shit. Sounds mad fucking good. Mm-hmm. Yo, but all right, where can the people find you, and what is next to come for Angel of Words?
All right, so next to come for Angel of Words, first and foremost, at Angel of Words Entertainment, ANGELOFWORDSENT across all our platforms, and we getting on Rumble next. So we already got that username for Rumble, so
Dope.
you can find us on Rumble as well, right? Next for Angel of Words, we have the modules that are be coming out in 2023. So, just start with the podcast free training videos. And then if you really want to step your game to a high level in the podcasting world, I have, lessons that I teach y'all that y'all really need to know to really make a dope podcast that you can monetize from. So go to my YouTube page, tap on the video that says create a dope podcast in just one day, because all it takes is one day for you to get your voice out there. Now, that's one thing. Then you can also Off the Wall, right? You're gonna be able to see that trailer at some point in 2023. Once everything is shot and everything is edited, that's gonna be out in 2023. So the movie promotional trailer for Off the Wall. Also be looking out. I'm gonna be hosting events in Queens and big parties in Queens with Pereo Save My Life. So we just started that venture. Let's see how it goes. I have a feeling it's gonna go well. So stay tuned to that. Come join us. Come join us for these beautiful parties. It's like old school parties, bro. Dope. And people are dancing. You know what I mean? There's nobody being high-headed. We out there having a good vibe, having a good time, and I want to bring that more to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be working with the Pereo Save My Life crew in 2023. Also, look forward to us doing a lot of events. We have an artist that we're doing her event who's a friend of the podcast. Her name is Aphrodite. She's a super dope artist, created this super dope album. So we're gonna be covering that event. We also have the ENY event where we got our dude Gattuso from Euphoria. Oh, he was on Euphoria, the bad guy in Euphoria in season 1 with all the tattoos on his face. So you look out for the ENY album release party video. So yeah, man, just look for us to be out everywhere that's music and, theater related and art related. You might see us there, man. You know what I mean? So we're really out there, really trying to bring the brand out to everyone and create great content that's memorable and important for our communities, man.
Hell yeah, you really fucking doing it, bro.
We're not playing around.
Angel of Words, thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, you already know. Thank you, my brother.
Let's go. It's the conversation. Yeah. Take your mind different places. Now you know. So yeah.